African Safari Wildlife Park is a wild experience with over 800 exotic animals. Our drive-through safari features giraffes, zebras, deer, elk, alpacas, and even a white bison, all of which you can feed right from your vehicle. Walk on the wild side with the Zoo It All Pass and feed kangaroos, porcupines, tortoises, and rabbits. Step into our aviary adventure and hand-feed budgies for a memorable experience. Check out our live educational shows or ride a camel. Create memories that will last a lifetime at the Ohio Safari Park, African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton.
Well, happy Thursday, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the morning show right here on Main Street TV. And guess what? Today's Thursday, and that means our good friend Pete Wilson is here to give the morning news update. And of course, that's brought to you by Nia Henry, agent for Appalachia Realty. If you're looking to buy or sell or have any real estate needs, she's your local girl, the one that knows real estate here in our area. Give her a call, 740-418-4135. And she'll be out working hard for you. Well, Pete.
Well, Jennifer.
We have a special treat for you here in a little bit.
I have heard that.
See, so you have worked.
I see the setup.
Yes.
It's very impressive.
So you have worked so hard gathering news that we thought that you needed a special treat here at the end of the show.
A bubble?
Not quite.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's food related.
Okay. I missed out on the bubble, so I'm glad you remembered me this time.
Oh, you did. You
That's
didn't.
right.
Why didn't you come and hang with us?
I didn't know you were going to have a bubble, or I would have.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. I mean, I
No
like
kidding.
Mika and the crew, but the bubble, I mean, that's hard to resist.
I know everyone likes Mika's smiling face, but that bubble sure does help
At
too.
9:15 in the morning, yeah, I would have done it.
That's right. So you'll be back at the end of the show
Okay.
for your little treat.
Sure. Okay. I'll do that.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll get to the news so we can get to the culinary feature of today's program. All right.
We're like high tech here, man. We're like making stuff today.
But we'll start out with a little crime. All right.
Oh.
It does happen out there.
It does.
And we're going to give you some of the highlights. And we're going to start with a story that involved two counties, Pike County and Jackson County. This actually happened on June the 29th, but we just pulled all the facts together to tell you about it.
Oh,
but
okay.
It's definitely a worthy story. It started out in Pike County the afternoon of the 29th when a Pike County deputy attempted to make a traffic stop. And it was in the village of Beaver near the Jackson County line. And we're talking about basically a routine speeding violation.
Okay.
And the driver of the vehicle turned out to be a man by the name of John Isaac Blevins. He pulled over, but then didn't stay around very long after, the deputy, tried to do his thing on the enforcement with the speeding ticket or whatever.
Oh.
Blevins took off in his Toyota car, drove on State Route 335 south till he hit the Appalachian Highway, State Route 32, took a left, went towards Jackson, and he went at about 100 miles per hour.
What?
They're on State Route 32, and it's a straight stretch in there, but that is about 35 miles over the speed limit.
Something like that,
And
yeah.
so he had the Pike County deputies behind him, and they, of course, as they approached the Jackson County line, they called the Jackson County law enforcement. That included the Jackson County Sheriff's Office and the Jackson Post of the State Highway Patrol. And as Mr. Blevins...
He's in real trouble at this point, right?
As Mr. Blevins was approaching the Jackson area there on 32, parked along the highway, waiting for him was none other than our High Sheriff, Ted Frazier, and his Chief Deputy, Scott Conley, ready to, join the pursuit, try to end the pursuit, whatever, of course, they could as he was approaching the city of Jackson. Well, Ted and Scott were in the vehicle right behind them, and Mr. Blevins ended up, this was not a good thing, he ended up turning on the State Route 93 exit, which is Main Street, right in the middle of town in the commercial area, of course.
That's what he picked?
That's where he picked to exit the highway to try to shake the sheriff, I guess. But anyway, as he approached the exit stop there and turned, I'm not sure whether it was right at where you stop to turn on to 93, which is also East Main Street, or after he turned, he hit a white SUV. Not surprising, going at the high rate of speed and trying to shake the sheriff. And after he hit the SUV, he bailed from his Toyota car and took off running towards LaRosa's Pizzeria and the Days Inn hotel right behind it. Well, the sheriff, who was very much a hands-on law enforcement officer, not an ivory tower guy, he chased him on foot, as did a deputy, and I think the Highway Patrol was also involved in this. And one of Sheriff Frazier's deputies captured Blevins on foot there around the Days Inn hotel. And so the good part of the story was that nobody was injured in the SUV. It was a mother and 2 young daughters. They were shaken up, I'm sure.
I'd say.
But they were not hurt. Their car was potentially disabled, and so the sheriff's office even took them home. But they were not hurt. Mr. Blevins was not hurt in the wreck or in the capture. There wasn't any other incident in town or whatever in that busy time of day, maybe the busiest stretch of highway in Jackson County, there on East Main Street, as you're heading out toward Walmart. And so they took him into custody, and he faces a number of charges.
I'd say.
Right, and they're all going to come out of Pike County because that's where it all started. They'll bundle all the charges there, but felony level charges could include failure to comply, which is fleeing and eluding, obstructing official business, receiving stolen property, aggravated vehicular assault, and also misdemeanor charges of 2. Now, I'm thinking that maybe, so why did Mr. Blevins run when you just talked about a speeding ticket?
That was what I was going to ask.
Well, he happened to be driving a stolen car. So,
shut the front door.
So that was maybe why he didn't, want a license plate registration check or anything like that. So,
perhaps.
So the part about the stolen car, a lot of times instead of a theft of motor vehicle, you get a receiving stolen property charge, because what they know for sure is you're in something that was stolen. And that charge can be as serious as actually being caught stealing the car. So, this will all unfold in Pike County through the grand jury. There'll be no charges in Jackson County because they're bundling them all. The patrol here in Jackson may have some charges potentially as a result of investigating the wreck that occurred there when he hit the white SUV.
Okay.
So I guess, an exciting thing to tell you about. We wanted to give you the details, but really focus on the effective law enforcement that took place. The sheriff's office, did a speeding pull over there. If they wouldn't have done this, Mr. Blevins might still be running around in a stolen car doing who knows what. And of course, in Jackson County, you can see the potential for danger there.
Absolutely.
With a car coming like that into town on a busy exit onto a busy East Main Street. And as it turned out, some harm done, but no major harm done.
So what's the moral of this story, Pete?
The moral of the story is, if you steal a car, don't drive over the speed limit. Okay.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's simplifying it down, but
yeah.
that's one.
I mean,
or don't do the
or don't steal the car. Yeah.
In the first place, right? Or borrow somebody else's stolen car, because we don't know for sure who stole it because the charge is receiving stolen property. Okay, but we move on in crime. This came from the Vinton County Sheriff's Office just last night. Big drug bust in Ray, which is on State Route 327, just north of the Jackson County line. But as a result of a narcotics investigation by the Vinton County Sheriff's Office and Sheriff Ryan Kane and his crack staff, they did a search warrant at a Ray residence because of alleged drug trafficking. And as a result, there were 5 different people that were detained and arrested on different charges. But the main charge is trafficking in drugs. They also took a look at the residents there, not very good living conditions. There were children involved. So other charges could be involved as a result of the environment, I guess, where kids were. But the Vinton County Sheriff's Office has the Vinton County Children's Service Office involved in that as well. Details on both of those crimes will be in our next paper. Okay. And we'll have it online as well on the telegramnews.com. And yet another crime story. This comes from the Vinton County Sheriff's Office as well. I'm not sure whether I talked about this on Monday or not, because, all this stuff runs together. But there was a burglary on Poland Road in Vinton County.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, this, I think, came out on Monday, maybe after I was, on the air. But the good news is, after a burglary, there wasn't a burglary at a Poland Road residence. The Benton County Sheriff's Office put out surveillance video of the crime, and there you see it up on the screen. If you're watching there on Facebook and you have the visual, you can actually see two suspects inside. They have masks on. One of them seems to be carrying some type of maybe machete.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's what it looks like anyway. That was not verified in the sheriff's office report, but you got your eyes to see. And as a result, I don't know whether it was because this video was put out for public consumption. We're going to have it in the paper as well. We have it on our website now already. They were able to identify what they call persons of interest in the case. And they're able to make major headway in that case, and they are still asking the public if they have any more information about how this burglary occurred or anything that could help in the investigation to please call the Benton County Sheriff's Office. That number is 596-5242, and they don't care if your tips are anonymous. But they're still working on that, but they have made progress and identified what they are calling persons of interest in that burglary on Poland Road. That is in Richland Township on the western end of the county. All right, there's a lot of talk at the school board level across the state of Ohio, and certainly locally too, about what the school districts should do on the COVID situation. And one of the issues is what to do with the, I guess for lack of a better word, the stimulus money that is coming to the school district, which is a lot of money.
Okay.
To help on the COVID situation, impacts of the COVID situation, and also generally, they can be used to help the school district too. We're talking about a lot of money. The Wellston City School District, I'll go to that first. They have already decided what to do with some of their money.
Okay.
They're going to create some new grant-funded positions there in Wellston. Things that need to be done. 4 positions will include intervention specialists, mental health specialists, a small group, teachers and permanent substitutes, and a district social worker. Those are things that Wellston has wanted to do that would be helpful, but wasn't possible before, and that is how they're going to use some of their ESSER money. ESSER stands for Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief. The nub of it is that stimulus money.
Okay.
It's coming to the school district. So that's already been decided in Wellston. At the most recent Jackson School Board meeting, very interesting discussion. Superintendent Phil Howard had some folks in to talk about their COVID-19 experience to try to give the school district leaders, the school board, and the administration guidance on how to approach COVID-19 and using this ESSER money.
Sure.
But this story was in our paper on Wednesday, Jennifer, and Dan Morrow, who had COVID-19, talked about his experience. Dr. Stephen Owen, a physician, well-known, helps the schools. He was there. He also had COVID-19.
Oh, he did. Okay.
They did, and when a doctor and one of the best-known businessmen in town talk about their experience, people listen.
Yeah.
And they were there, to basically say, hey, listen, this thing can happen. It isn't just a statistic. And Kevin Aston there, you can see him there on your monitor. If you're watching, on Facebook, he was also there to talk about the latest on COVID-19. But before the Jackson City School District makes all of its decisions on how to use ESSER monies and how to approach the COVID-19 situation, starting the new school year, and what to do on the rules and the restrictions, they wanted to hear from the public. They actually invited the public to come in and speak at this last meeting. And one of the persons who spoke, Michelle Sanborn, we didn't see her picture. She talked about the thought that, maybe everybody has gone too far on some of the restrictions and that they shouldn't have a lot of the same ones that they had during the school year coming into this new school year. And she's a very smart lady too, and her perspective was a little different than some of the others.
Yeah.
But it's good to hear all this and then, mix it up, make a decision and, go forward. But I think it is necessary to say, I've said this all along, I think that how the school districts handled it was outstanding, at least if you look at the results. I think we all thought, well, what's going to happen? COVID's getting worse, and all these people are going to come together at our schools in August or September.
Right.
And then, as the school year went on, it got worse in the community, and there were cases in the schools, staff members.
Not nearly as
students,
much as you would have thought.
No, not much at all. School was able to go on. A lot of the kids were actually in-person instruction, which everybody says is preferable. And so, I think it would turn out to be a success story. And now the school districts, with the school year starting in a little bit more than a month, they're figuring out how to handle it this
Sure.
time around. And, it may be a deal where their hands are not tied. They're not told they have to do certain things. They can decide on their own.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens
Maybe
there.
like a happy medium of some of the protocols might be the right thing to do.
Right, but it looks like it's going to be a lot of local decisions on what to do
Okay.
and what not to do. Okay, we want to give kudos to 3 different school board members who were recognized by the Ohio School Boards Association for their long service in Oak Hill. At the most recent meeting, Joe Elsess and Mike French were honored for 20 plus years of service to the Oak Hill Union Local Board of Education. That is a long time to serve.
Is.
When you're a school board member, you're the hairs are on you,
Yeah.
because, people care about the education, things that go on in the schools, all the extracurriculars, the instruction and all. And the public knows that the school board members are the direct connection, democratically speaking, because they are elected, of course. And a lot of times a school board member will serve a term or two and say they've had enough. Well, Joe Elsess and Mike French have gone 20 years plus in the Oak Hill Union Local School District. And there is Joe Elsess in the middle. He is flanked by, there on the right, that's Kim Harley. She's representing the Southeastern Region branch of the Ohio School Boards Association. There, Joe Elsess is in the middle accepting his certificate. Mike French was not able to be at that meeting. Just last week at the Wellston City Board of Education meeting, Betty Jenkins, who is a longtime member of the Wellston City Board of Education, was honored for 10 years of service in Wellston. So congratulations to her. And there is Betty on the right. She's one of 5 Oak Hill School Board members, and she was honored for 10 years of service. And there is Kim Harless, who is a member of the Jackson City Board of Education. That's one of the many hats she wears.
Right.
She was there to present that certificate on behalf of the Ohio School Boards Association and the Southeastern Ohio region. All right, Jennifer, we all know that the Welsh are big news in Jackson County, and you better not forget it, because it is really woven into our history and our culture.
It is.
And they had a very nice ceremony. It was off the beaten track. I was there. I can verify it happened. But it was such a nice event. We're going to be writing about that as well in the Telegram. They dedicated a historical marker at the Evans Cemetery. The Evans Cemetery is located on Mariah Road. If you're coming from Jackson, you drive almost all the way to Rio Grande. You take a right, you go about a mile, and there is this old country cemetery there. And the reason that they put a historical marker there, and credit Jeannie Gendra and the Mad Dog Center for Welsh Centers at the University of Rio Grande, the reason they did that is this is where some of the original Welsh settlers are buried.
Wow.
And these were the same people, some of them, who actually crossed the Atlantic in 1818, landed over there at Baltimore or wherever, made their way across the mountains, came down the Ohio River. They were going to go someplace near Cincinnati, but they ran into problems. They needed provisions at Gallipolis. And you know what? Some of them stayed there.
They stayed here?
And they trekked westward from Gallipolis, came into Jackson and Gallia counties around Rio Grande and westward into Jackson County. They thought it looked just like Wells, and that is where they settled. And the Evans Cemetery is exactly where some of them lived. Where they lived, and now 40 to 50 graves are there as well.
Wow.
So there is a historical marker there now, one of those wonderful Ohio History Connection markers that's brass. There you see it there on the screen. Thanks, Jenna. Jeannie Gendra is there second from the left. That is one of the relatives there on the left of one of the original Jones family relatives. And the same thing, that's Stan Evans, who used to live in Jackson County, now lives in Gallia County. He's got family connections with the Evans Cemetery. And the lady to his right is Mary Evans, who also has direct connection with those Welsh settlers from bygone days. So very nice situation there.
That's neat.
All right, in Wellston, the city schools and the city government got together on a group project, a collaborative project that helped everybody, and that was paving Grady Lane. The Wellston City Schools are located right off Grady Lane. If you come off 93, that's Grady Lane. If you come off State Route 327, that's Golden Rocket Drive. But the Grady Lane portion needed paved. It was go through the city, go through the schools, and they collaborated on the spending. And it's nicely new paved. There it is. It looks so nice now. Obviously, it gets a lot of traffic, especially during school. The Bundy Heights apartment complex is located right next to the school campuses there. And so give them credit for a nice project. Also, last night, the Jackson County Democratic Party heard virtually from Tim Ryan. He is a United States congressman who wants to run for, he is going to run for U.S. Senate in 2022.
Okay.
Obviously, they're out hustling now for votes and notoriety. And our Trevor Bailey was there at that meeting, and he will have a report in one of our next papers about that speech and what Tim Ryan says about his candidacy and what he thinks is needed for Ohio. Some sadness in Wellston. Two prominent people have recently passed away, and I think it's worthy of mention here on the news. One of them is Ron Hudson, 86 years old, and there he is. He's wearing his Wellston Rocket cap there, and he was Mr. Recreation in Wellston for many years. They have a great city recreation program in Wellston. A lot of kids, play ball in the summer. It's a big deal. It is in all of our communities, but in Wellston, it always has been. And Ron Hudson was Mr. Recreation for over 20 years there. He passed away this past week. He also was the owner and operator of Ron's Trophies in Wellston. He was always well connected with the community. And so, we offer our condolences to his family, and we certainly celebrate his life and his achievements and his contributions to Wellston. Visitation at the McWilliams Funeral Home will be this Friday, 5 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. If you want to make a memorial donation, obviously they would like to have it made to Make Wellston Beautiful. That's the community organization now that oversees the recreation in Wellston. Also, Tom Montgomery passed away recently. Tom lived in Wellston for many years. He was one of the ones who started Bryn Mawr Construction, no longer associated with it, but he helped start it. There is Tom Montgomery. You see his picture. Tom was also the chief estimator for many years at the old McNally Pittsburgh office. And he also was well known in the community, supported community things, obviously involved in high school sports. He is the father of the great Jeff Montgomery, who, of course, was a Hall of Fame pitcher for the Kansas City Royals, went all the way from Wellston High School to the big leagues and was an all-star pitcher. And Mr. Montgomery, there'll be a funeral mass for him at the St. Peter and Paul Catholic Church on Monday, visitation Saturday evening at the McWilliams Funeral Home in Wellston. And if you want to do something to remember Tom because of all his contributions to Wellston and how much he meant to the community, you can make memorial contributions in his name to the Mount Calvary Catholic Cemetery there in Wellston. This weekend, you got to give the Friends of Lake Alma credit. That's a support group for Lake Alma.
Yes.
Now, you know how busy Santa Claus is in December. I mean, he's a hard man to book. Well, they booked him for an event this weekend.
What?
The Friends of Lake Alma will have a Christmas in July event. Instead of having the beach party, which they've had in past years, they're doing Christmas in July. It's a little bit different. It will be Saturday for most of the day at Lake Alma. Activities going on all day. But in the evening, Santa Claus will visit the camp. Children are encouraged to decorate and bring their bikes.
Fun.
They'll have a decorated bike parade, and then there'll be a dance from 7 to 10 p.m. There'll be activities for kids and adults earlier in the day as well. There's going to be a camper decoration contest as well. But this is a great opportunity to come out and have some fun on Saturday. I think the forecast is going to be pretty good for an outdoor event. And if you want to see Santa Claus and get in your advance order, you can do that at Lake Alma. They're near Wellston this Saturday, Christmas in July. The Friends of Lake Alma making that possible. Do not forget, Dr. Evil was here. He will cast a spell on you if you don't see Dr. Evil and the pigeons.
I was not
lasers.
Messing with him yesterday. I did whatever he said.
He looked pretty menacing. I got out of here.
Yeah,
before.
he was.
Yeah,
and that pigeon had the eyes like.
I know it. Well, it looks like Cynthia Stifler has put together, along with those kids, a great performance. It's going to be very visual and very funny. It looks like to me.
Yes.
But there's still a chance to get tickets to that. It's at the Marquee. Very comfortable place to do anything, to watch any kind of performance.
Absolutely.
7 p.m. this Saturday and Sunday are the performance times and dates. Tickets are $10 in advance and $12 at the door. So once again, that is this Saturday and Sunday evening at the Marquee Cultural Arts Center. Dr. Evil and the Pigeons with lasers. Also, we want.
It's just so funny that that's the name of it. Like it cracks me up.
Well, we want to give kudos to 3 groups. The Jackson Vinton Farm Bureau, the Jackson Rotary Club, and the Jackson City Library. They went together to do a blessing box project. where you could, drop off non-perishable food and what they're going to do with it. And they've already done it because this ended at the end of the month of June. This was a June project that Kim Harley got started and she got community partners for. They collected a lot of items of non-perishable food. And there you see all the non-perishable food there. And there in the picture, you have April Eifler from the Jackson City Library. You have Kim Harless, of course, from the Farm Bureau and the Rotary. She's the outgoing Rotary president. And you have Amanda Crabtree, who's the incoming Rotary president. And those three groups kind of spearheaded it. The public could participate. And they collected a lot of non-perishable food items that will be stocked in the blessing boxes all over Jackson and the Jackson area.
So cool.
So, a lot of times you think about the
April's
blessing.
actually here
April
in the studio. Thank you.
April,
Yay, April.
applause. She's always doing great things
She
for the
is.
library and the Rotary. She's a good Rotarian.
Yep.
So, but anyway, that will help with the blessing boxes in the summer. And sometimes you think more about those kind of donations in the winter and around
Yes.
Christmas time, but there is need all year round.
Yes,
So
there is.
thanks to those groups. Also on the traffic side, Jackson County Engineer Melissa Miller, one of the unsung heroes of Jackson County. I think she's got a tough job, trying to ride herd over all of our county roads and highways. She's
yes.
responsible for the bridges as well. Hard to keep people happy because, everybody wants a nicely paved road, but it costs a lot of money.
It does cost a lot of money.
Right. Well, anyway, on the traffic side, here is her latest announcement. It regards a section of Limerick Road. She hopes that it will be open by the end of Friday, that's July the 9th, after a bridge replacement project has taken place. If they have good weather the rest of the week, she thinks that will be open by the end of Friday. That exact location is a bridge where a slip occurred a half mile north of the Beaver Pike. You hit Limerick Road out on 35, but on the other end, it's Beaver Pike.
Yeah.
So this is near the Beaver Pike side. And I know a lot of people live on Limerick Road and they use it to cross the county. So hopefully that section of the road will be open again by the end of Friday. Of course, It's supposed to rain today, so we'll see. All right, I am out of breath, and we've got an accomplished chef over there in Miriam Harley ready to go to work. So this is going to be exciting. Where else are you going to learn to make vegetable sushi than here on Main Street TV?
I mean, I can't think of anywhere else.
Right, and Jenna Smalley, she's over there, our producer, behind the scenes. She already has counseled me that I don't know what I've missed because I've never tried it.
Well, you're fixing to, Pete.
Okay.
So you come back up in a little bit. We'll hook you up.
I will be back up.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Very good. All right, and Pete's Morning News Update brought to you by Nia Henry, agent for Appalachia Realty. And if you are looking to buy or sell or have any real estate needs, give Nia a call at 740-418-4135, and she'll be working hard for you. All right, let's head on over to our total media weather forecast where let's see. April, you coming over to talk to me first?
Yes,
Okay, all right. So today will be mostly cloudy with showers likely. Highs, though, not so hot, which is great, about 83 degrees. That chance of rain today is about 70%. For tonight, partly cloudy, a chance of thunderstorms. That chance is about 50-50 overnight. Lows around 66. And then tomorrow to begin your weekend, partly cloudy, isolated thunderstorms, and great temperatures, highs only around 80. So luckily not quite as hot as we've been having.
It's pretty scorching. So
It's-
things down for sure.
Like, even with air conditioning on, if you're fortunate enough to have it, it's still been miserable.
Yeah, then the minute you go out from the air conditioning, you're like, oh.
It's like cut through the air with your knife, try
Yeah.
to swim through the humidity. Yeah, all of that. So we do have some fun guests here on the program today. Of course, our good friend April from the Jackson City Library is here. And then, as Pete said, Miriam is here to, to school us on some sushi making.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that fun?
She's got
I've
the
never
skills.
made sushi.
It'll
No?
be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sticking around just to watch it.
She's like all prepared. She comes in, she's got her bag, and she's like got it all laid out. So we're gonna do that here
Talk
in just
about
a little
knives.
bit.
She whipped that out a little bit ago.
I know that's
I'm like, whew.
concerning to me that small child has that big of a knife, but that's okay. Your mother lets you play with that? Okay.
No supervision?
No.
Wow. Impressive.
Very trustworthy.
Yes.
Megan, we need to talk here in a little bit.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'm just here to introduce her, really, and let people know that we are obviously at the library. I think they know by now that we've done a lot of children's events.
Yes.
And summer reading. Now we're changing gears and trying to ease back into the adult programs. So she's spearheading this. She's going to lead. This is one of our first adult programs that we're going back into. And it'll be Monday, July 12th. And there is registration because we needed to limit to 12 people. So Miriam has enough supplies, and so we're not overcrowded. And you can find the registration link on our Facebook page.
Okay, very good. And the Facebook, is it just Jackson City Library?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so very good. So you can go to that. You can register for Miriam's sushi making class, and that will be held, Monday?
Yeah, 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock
Mhm.
at the library. So, well, let's talk while you're here, and I have you here for a moment. Let's talk about, we went to the petting zoo.
Yeah.
That was so fun, and good job on that. We appreciate the fact that you arranged that, because when I drove up, you drive up and you're parking and you look over and all you see is exactly what I thought I was going to see, like squealing children. They were so excited, and there was a ton of folks there, and they were running around and they were just loving it. And
That's one of the best sounds.
Yes.
To hear the squealing children, just the joy.
The giggling and the happy and fun. And that's exactly what it should have been and what it was. So I thought that was a fantastic event that you had there at the Lillian Jones Museum. So what are some of the other things that you have upcoming for the kids? And then we'll talk about the adults too.
Okay. Yesterday we had a superhero movie at Tri-City Theater, and Spider-Man was a special guest. He came and took pictures with the kids.
What?
And then they went in and saw a movie. We have just one remaining big summer reading, and it's going to be, I believe, in 2 weeks. We had a little bit of a mix-up with the date. And it's going to be, I believe he's a juggler, and he'll be at Manpower Park in 2 weeks. So
Juggler.
2 weeks from yesterday. It's always on Wednesdays.
Okay.
But we're continuing the Tuesdays at the Old Park View, which is Head Start now.
Okay.
There's a story time there. Our children's librarian, Sharon, she goes and there's finger plays and music and dancing, and she reads a couple books. And
Louie's there.
Louie's there, yep. And then I think on Thursdays we've been doing a virtual story time. It's with summer, we're kind of scaling back. A lot of people aren't, hopping online as much because it's summer. They have other things to do.
Sure.
But I do have an email list, and I keep people, and we'll post it on our Facebook and our website when that, ramps up again. As far as adults, this is, like I said, we're easing back into it. So the sushi night is the first big one. We're working on, I think, getting some groups together, like a board game night.
Heck yeah.
So if you're interested, call the library and ask for information about that. I think someone's going to be doing like a murder mystery book club.
That would be fun.
Yeah, we're working on putting together some groups and getting things going back at the library.
It's been so hard because the things that you do by nature are, your special projects are getting people together to do fun things. And, obviously during COVID, that was a bit hard to do. So it does have to ease back into all of this. And, you guys were not even allowed or able to be open for quite a while.
Yep.
So that had to be challenging.
It was, but we adjusted and did what we could, and still able to offer services. But now we're excited to get back into to have more people in and seeing everyone again and have some fun projects.
There you go. And one thing I wanted to ask you about, because I think this is such a neat project, and it's something, where you can do physical fitness, and it's just something fun to do for the kids. Talk for a moment about the books throughout town.
The story walk?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was started,
so neat.
2016, 2017.
It's been there for a while now.
Yeah. So we try to switch it out every month, every couple months. We base it on the time of the year, seasons, something like that. We collaborated with the Jones Museum. She had a soil display, so we got a worm book and put it in there.
Oh.
But there's 16 stations, and the first one starts at the library right out front, and you read like the first couple pages of the book, and you go up, it tells you where to go next, the church right next door. You read the other pages, and all the way up Broadway, then you cross and come back down the other side, and it's at PNC, I believe.
So it's kind of like a little treasure hunt, and
Yeah.
also, you're walking, so that's fantastic. And it's kind of like, oh, what's the next page going to be?
It's a
But
lot
I
of
have to
fun.
walk to go find out.
Yeah.
So that's a really neat thing. And you can do that with your kids. Just start at the library and follow the books all the way up the street.
Mhm. Yep, it's a lot of fun. Like I said, we try and change that out every month, every couple months. Get out there and get a new one. And we always post when there's a new one out there and ready for you.
There you go. So that's something fun that you can do also. All right. Well, April, thank you so much for stopping
Absolutely.
by. We love having you here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And let us know anything that you have fun going on at the
I
library.
will. Keep you in the loop.
You're always welcome here.
Appreciate that.
That chair is always open for you.
This one right here?
Yep,
All
that
right.
one. Even when Pete's here, we'll kick him out.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so am I just headed over this way? Are you ready, girlfriend? Yep. Okay, we're going to head on over to, this is like fancy. So we're going to head on over this way. All right, so here we are. And first off, tell everyone who you are.
Hi, my name's Miriam Harley.
And tell everyone who your parents are.
Okay, my parents are Megan Malone and Jeremy Harley.
That's right. And many folks have seen Megan here on the show. And of course, head honcho of the Lillian Jones Museum. So a lot of folks know her that way too. So Miriam, how did you get started? As you can see, we have some stuff here. We're going to make some sushi. But I mean, didn't have sushi till, several years ago. But you're how old?
19.
19, and you're already teaching sushi classes. So how on earth did you get exposed to sushi, and especially living here in Jackson, Ohio?
Okay, so first I'd like to say I'm not a sushi chef. That's like a thing. That's like a hole you go.
Yeah,
You get like 10 years of classes for that. I just am a girl that makes sushi, so I don't have to drive and buy it. But
yeah,
my parents always we always traveled a bunch as we were like growing up. So whenever we'd go to like big cities, I love fish. I love it. So we would always try and get sushi and try all these different restaurants and try all these different types of sushi. So during the summer, my mother would always encourage us to like learn some new skill so we didn't destroy the house because there's me and my sister. So
smart thinking.
One year I was like, you know what? I'm tired of driving to Athens every time I want sushi. So I'm going to make myself sushi. So I researched how to do it, and I just kind of taught myself.
And the cool thing is, and I don't think a lot of folks know this, but a lot of the supplies you can buy right here in Jackson.
Everything I have on this table, I bought, except for this, I bought in Jackson.
There you go. So you can't say that you can't do it here, because you totally can. Okay, so let's start out by talking about, so there's a little mat here.
Mm-hmm. We have I have silicone. Normally traditionally they're made of bamboo.
Sure.
But I find the bamboo molds, it gets moldy.
This you can wash.
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
So this is the actual rolling mat. See, it like rolls.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what instead of having to touch, because the more you touch the seaweed, the nori, the softer and more brittle and like ductile it gets, so it falls apart. So you want to try and avoid touching it.
Okay.
So you'll just once you put all your filling and stuff, you'll just use this as kind of like a way to roll it. So,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And with sushi, if you've ever looked at a menu, there's like 7 million bazillion different things that you can do. But you just brought some veggies today, so we can start out kind of simplistic.
I figured 10 o'clock in the morning is a little early for seafood, so.
I mean, we ate bubbles for breakfast, but
yeah. Well, that's true.
There you go. But no, that's totally good. So this is seaweed, right?
This is dried seaweed. It's called nori. I think that's the Japanese word for seaweed, but again, not a sushi chef. Don't know Japanese, so.
Gotcha.
But it's just basically pieces of seaweed fused together.
Okay.
And then it's dried, so it creates this wrapper type of thing.
Okay, very good.
Mm-hmm.
And again, don't forget, free plug for Miriam's class. You can sign up, and it is Monday at the library. So, okay. All right, so let's do this. What are we doing here? Do I need to put a glove on?
You're going to want to put a glove on.
I'm going to want to put a glove on.
The whole thing with sushi rice, this is the rice. It's a vinegar, sugar, oil mixture mixed in with the rice, and you don't wash the rice first, I think. I could be wrong. Again, not a sushi chef. But it creates this glutinous, and you see it sticks together.
Sticks, yeah.
Yeah, but see, like my
Yeah.
hand is all greasy now. I don't like that feeling
So
on my
is
hand.
this just normal rice, or is sushi rice a special kind of rice?
There is a special type of short grain sushi rice, but as sushi has evolved and become more multicultural, you can make it with pretty much any rice.
Okay.
The important part is the vinegar sugar mixture, because
Okay.
that's what gives it this stick.
Okay.
And actually, sushi, the word sushi just means vinegared rice in Japanese.
Didn't know that. See, we're learning.
Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
if you go to Japan and you say, I want sushi, in certain places, you'll just get a ball of rice. So, yeah.
That's so American. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right. So what are we going to do here?
Okay, I grab a ball of rice about the size of my palm, and I
Okay.
put it down in the middle of my nori.
Okay. So,
Mhm.
is that good?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Do I need to squash it or just put
Nope.
it down?
And then
Okay.
you're gonna take it and you're gonna spread it all the way to the edge. You might have to use more rice. I'm still experimenting with how much rice,
Okay.
and that's up to individual.
So you kind of want it to cover the whole thing?
Mhm.
Oh,
You're gonna-
okay.
Yes.
Am I doing it? I'm doing it.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Okay. This is like really fun. It's therapeutic, I feel like. Okay. So we're spreading the rice.
Mm-hmm. And then this is going to be... So, quick history on sushi. Sushi was originally started as a way to preserve fish because the vinegared rice
Makes sense.
ferments and it keeps the fish fresh.
Ooh.
So it was originally you would put the fish in the middle, cover it in rice, and put a stone on it. That was like 2,500 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And then they would just throw the rice away and eat the fish. But then they were like, we're wasting all this rice.
Yeah, like
Let's
let's
try
eat this
it.
stuff.
And then it just evolved from there.
Okay. All right, so you just want a thin layer of rice kind of
Mhm.
like
A
everywhere.
thin, even layer.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like my rice is a little chunky in some spots.
No, it's good.
Okay.
And then we have the veggies. I have
Okay.
carrots, cucumbers, and avocado, which is the ones I normally put in my rolls.
Okay.
Because it gives it some color and some freshness. A quarter of the way up, I usually make a line so I know where to put my filling.
Okay. I'm doing it. Okay.
And then you just choose whatever you want and put it in a line.
Okay. And these are what? Cucumbers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cucumbers. And then I'm a big avocado fan.
Yeah, I am too.
My whole family is. But I usually put a whole bunch of avocado.
Okay. And this is just an avocado that you've kind of peeled and...
Yep. Peeled and cut thinly. You want to keep, whenever you're putting vegetables in your sushi, it has to be thin so
Yeah.
it doesn't get like this big, you don't bite
You don't
in
want a
with, like,
big
this
chunk,
huge
or
of
something. Yeah.
something.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
This is so fun.
Yeah.
Wait, one more little bit here. There. Now I feel like I'm even.
Now that you have your filling,
Okay.
I take the nori. I know I said don't pick up the nori, but I take the nori and I tuck it over and under my filling, creating like a little pocket. So
Oh.
when I roll...
God, the pressure.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Exactly like that. And then you're just going to pull it underneath your filling.
Like a burrito.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then I grab the silicone and I just...
I think I'm messing it up.
No, you're doing good.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just pull and roll to create this little tube.
Oh, so you don't roll the silicone through it. You roll...
No,
Oh,
no.
that makes sense. Look, how do you get it out from underneath the thing? Okay, so you just...
Yes.
Wait, it's scooting. What am
And
I
then
doing wrong?
You can pull it back.
Oh, wait, it's doing it.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Okay. Who knew? Uh-oh, mine's splitting.
It's okay.
I suck at this.
It took me like 3 months just to get one without splitting all the way down the middle.
Okay.
The early attempts were rough.
Did I do it?
Yeah, you did good.
Okay.
There's avocado all over my fingers. But, and then this is This is not a traditional sushi knife. This is just one that my dad had.
It's just a giant knife, which your dad loves to cook too.
He does. So this is one of his knives. So.
Oh, look how pretty it is.
Mhm. And then you just cut it into however thick or thin slices you would like.
Which typically, wouldn't it be kind of like where you could put one bite in your mouth?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sushi was originally
so mine can be about this big.
Sushi was originally a finger food. Chopsticks were not needed.
Okay.
And sushi rolls actually came about because businessmen, after the Great Tokyo earthquake, when sushi moved from carts to shops.
Okay.
Because they started out as carts, just like hot dog carts in New York. Like
yeah.
Sushi. Yeah.
Just like
wandering around the city.
Almost like street food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when it transitioned to a more physical building with a sushi bar, businessmen were like, we don't have time for you to do all this art. Just throw it in some nori and we have to go. So originally, I believe, what I've read, the roll is not meant to be cut. You're supposed to just eat it like a burrito.
Uh-huh.
But then you have a lot of nori. I find that you have a lot of nori at the end because
yeah,
like even like mine, I have a bunch of like just it's not proportional.
Right. So you kind of cut the ends off.
Yeah.
That's not going to be the pretty part.
And the best
this is so fun.
The best thing that I find about sushi is that you can literally put anything, pretty much anything you want in here.
Yeah.
I've had sushi where it's been deep fried soft shell crab. I've had lobster. I had chicken once. That was kind of weird.
Chicken sushi would be weird.
But it was good chicken, but it wasn't like not sushi.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen pork belly. I've seen all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. And then this is a traditional.
So then you brought some stuff.
Yes, we have sesame seeds that you could put on it if you would like. And then we have sriracha mayo, which I like to put on it.
Yeah.
Which gives it a little bit of a kick.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I know typically with, well, we'll try it. We'll try it and see. It just blobbed on me.
Yeah.
There we go. No, and I know that you typically would eat like wasabi or something like that, but watch that stuff. You think horseradish is bad?
Well, actually, in the United States, you've never eaten wasabi. You've always eaten horseradish that's just dyed green.
Oh, that's what it is.
It's horseradish and mustard mixed together.
Uh-huh.
Because wasabi's, it's so expensive, like, to get over here, and it's just... So normally what we're eating, unless you go to, like, a super high-end, is horseradish, thank you.
It's fake.
And mustard. So,
okay.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to eat it. Cheers.
Mm-hmm. Cheers.
Okay. Very good. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So, I like the veggie part of it. So, say you're in Jackson, where do you buy this stuff?
So, I will sometimes, if I don't want to make sushi, I'll go to Tokyo Steakhouse. They have a pretty good sushi bar.
They do have a good sushi bar, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that's kind of like if I really don't feel like making it, because I can just make it. But if you're in like Athens or pretty much any big city, they have like sushi restaurants. Athens Kroger has some pretty good sushi.
I've eaten
Athens Kroger sushi. It's good. But any big city or pretty much any big supermarket will have a sushi bar.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, if you just go there and there's just prepackaged sushi that you don't see someone actively making it, don't eat that. That's what we call gas station sushi, and you don't want that. Because it's been sitting for like days on end, and it's just not appetizing.
Probably not the
freshest.
That's right. So to get these supplies, where would you go?
I got everything on this table from Kroger.
Okay. Guess who's back? Come on in, Pete. We're going to make him... I'll tell you what. Do you want to... Oh, okay. Yeah. Go sit over there, and we're going to... And Pete, we're going to deliver you some food, Pete, and you're going to try it.
Delivery service too.
It is delivering. April's going to try it, too.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to... Yeah, that mayonnaise is like,
I don't know what's going on.
it's
It's
very
exploding. It's very excited to be here.
It's like, here I am. Look at me.
Yeah.
All right, so James, do you want to take them over some? Here, do you want to put it on this mat?
Yeah, you can just hand me one of those.
Why does it matter who's you're getting, April?
Well, wait a minute. I signed up for Miriam Sushi.
Okay, well, here, darn it. Hers is better
Wait
than
a
mine.
second. You know a little bit about food service, don't you?
I do.
Okay, all right.
Here, do you guys want the
I
mayonnaise?
take that back.
Yes,
take that
please.
back.
You have to try it. It's so good. So you're
Pete's
going.
never had it, right?
Never.
Pete's never had sushi before, so
Wow.
yeah,
That
I've
mayonnaise
had
going to
eel
explode.
sushi, and that was like
yeah. The eel.
never again.
That's what I told Jenna. I said, tell Miriam that to avoid the eel, and I'll be perfectly happy.
Okay, now is the sriracha mayo, is that something that you should do or is that optional?
It is optional.
It's optional, but I think it
Most
definitely
people-
gives it that little
most
special
people like
something.
it.
Yeah,
Kind of like the cocktail sauce on the mushroom.
yeah, something like
Okay.
that.
All right. Okay. All right.
So Pete's doing it. So there's carrot, avocado, and cucumber in there.
Just a little.
Just to let you know.
I learned it helps if you open the cap first. All
Okay,
right, here we go.
Okay. Well, ooh. Oh. That is good. I like it.
I think Pete likes it.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Thumbs up.
All right. Hey, we did good, kiddo.
It is very good. Very good.
And we won't tell Pete which one he's eating
I
either.
made it all the way to age 66 without sushi, and now I've had it, and my day is brighter.
There we go.
Mm.
That was delicious, guys.
There you
Good
go.
job.
Very
Hey,
good.
Thank you. All right. Well, very good. And if you want to learn a little bit more about sushi making, and you can participate in Miriam's class on Monday at the Jackson City Library. I think it would be a lot of fun. Is there a cost to sign up or anything?
Is there a cost to sign up? No, there's
No?
not a cost.
All right. And what kind of sushi will be people making?
I'm honestly just gonna.
Will
make
be
this.
people making. Will whatever. You know what I mean.
I'm gonna make this, and then I think I'm gonna make a California roll, or have the option to make a California roll, which is flipped, so the rice is on the outside. It's a little bit harder, and it has crab in it. But it's just crab, cucumber, and avocado.
So that was the one thing I was going to ask you about, because I've seen sushi where the rice is on the outside and then it's got, sometimes it has sesame seeds or other different kinds of seeds or whatever on it. How do you do that? Just backwards?
You just flip you have the nori, and then you put the rice on it, and then you pick the nori up and you just flip it over.
Uh-huh.
It's an American thing.
Oh, of course it is. Well, very good. Well, this has been so fun. Thank you.
Thank you for having
Come
me.
back and see us anytime.
Hey, I have a question.
Yes.
This is very important for the incompetent people. Is it just sushi making, or what if you're a sushi eater? Are you allowed to come and not make?
Oh,
Probably.
fair question.
I mean, you can learn by watching. That's what I do to avoid being exposed. See, I just watch and then I eat. Okay.
He doesn't want to tell on himself that he doesn't.
Now, I know
what he's
that
doing.
there's people out there who will be a sushi eater, but maybe not a sushi maker. I just want to know if they're welcome. Are they
Yeah,
welcome?
I mean,
April
like I
says
said, we're
yes.
trying to limit the crowd to 12, but I mean, if we get a few stragglers in there that just want to look and watch how it's done, yeah.
Okay,
that'd
and
be
shoot,
fine.
if
Sure.
it goes over well, maybe there'll be sushi making too, right?
Part 2,
Perhaps.
yeah.
Love
Miriam,
that.
you for that?
Yeah. What?
Part 2?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah.
Probably.
She's
Okay.
up for it.
Aren't we
Right.
live streaming it?
That's a good question. Possibly. I mean, if Roger's.
Yeah, Roger will
there,
probably-
Yeah, they'll probably want to
Yeah.
watch it. Yeah, so then you can tune into the Facebook page. You can
Very
watch it from there
good.
too if you don't want to make it into the library.
Well, the whole thing is contact the Jackson City Library. Miss Miriam here will help you. And thank you for spending your morning with us.
Thank you for having
We
me.
much appreciate you. And thanks to the gang at the library and our good friend April. And of course, Pete for being good guinea pigs. So thank you.
It was very good.
Thank
Good.
you.
All right. If Pete approves, we're in good shape. He won't write anything bad about us in the paper.
That's good.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. We've had so much fun here today, and we will be back here tomorrow. Well, with a little strongman, right, James? Yeah, that would be a fun day as well. So Have a wonderful day, everyone, and thank you for watching. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.